You don't belong in 2B. This ticket must be fake. That's what Rachel Lynn blurted at me. No, good morning. No, let me check for you. Just a cold assumption tossed right in front of a dozen first-class passengers, all sipping their early morning champagne like they'd been born with silver spoons in their hands. I didn't even react. I just handed my phone to Ava, my assistant, because, well, you learn not to waste breath on people who've already decided who you are before you say a word. She nodded, stepped aside, started typing nothing dramatic. 6 minutes later, $1.9 billion in airline funding froze around the world. 82 flights grounded, including ours. Now, if you've ever been told you don't belong somewhere, stick around, because this story, it doesn't end with an apology. It ends with accountability. Let me back up a sec. It was supposed to be a regular Monday. Flight 224, Dallas to Seattle. The cabin was a zoo, everybody looking ragged except maybe the guy in hoodie. That was me, Noah Bennett. I walk in, charcoal hoodie, black jeans, clean sneakers, holding a first-class boarding pass, and it's like the air changed. Rachel blocked me. I need to see your boarding pass. Not friendly, not neutral. Suspicious. I showed her. 2B, priority 1. She barely glanced at it before snapping. That's not possible. You're not on the manifest. I just said, check again. But she wouldn't. She started muttering about fraud alerts, unusual bookings. Then a guy up front, Ethan Ward, classic blue pinstripe peeks over his Wall Street Journal and goes, he probably stole the ticket. Some folks chuckled, others squirmed. You know the look. Meanwhile, Ava's recording the whole thing on my phone. Rachel folds her arms, tells me to step aside while she verifies. I said, I gave you my boarding pass. If you skipped ID, that's on you. I'm not moving. She raises her voice. I'll have to call security. Erica, a journalist in row 3, hits record on her phone. Ethan can't help himself. People like him don't fly first. I turn, what kind is that? He shrugs. Not hoodies and sneakers. Ava leans in, asks if I want to authorize Skylock. I nod. Rachel says she doesn't care who I am. Ava taps the screen immediately. $1.9 billion in funding is frozen pending a compliance audit. Rachel's tablet starts beeping. She ignores it. You think dressing like that gives you the right to sit here? I take a step forward. No, but your reaction just proved you think I don't. Suddenly, Daniel Hayes, an older man in 1D, stands up. Ma'am, you're not following airline policy. You're following a stereotype. Rachel doesn't know what to say. Ava flashes her phone, finance frozen, manifest under audit, ethics protocol running. I tell Rachel, you made a mistake. How you handle the next 6 minutes will define your entire career. The whole cabin's gone silent. Phones up, tension thick enough to cut. The captain's voice comes on, calm but scripted, stalling for time. Rachel still has the headset in hand. One touch from calling security, still looking at me like I'm a threat instead of a passenger. You're still not listed, she says, and I don't care what ID you show. Ethan grins. Someone's playing dress up and got caught. Erica's still recording. I signal Ava update. Ava, already logged in, says Skylock protocol triggered. 4 partner airlines now flagged. FAA and banks alerted. Rachel's manifest screen glitches, flashes red manifest under audit, funds flagged, confirm ID before escalation. Rachel jabs at the screen. What did you do? I answer, you decided I didn't belong because of my hoodie. But the real problem? Your system lets you decide that in the first place. Rachel scoffs. You're making this bigger than it is. I step closer, low and steady. That call you're about to make, the one to security, will be the worst decision of your career. Daniel stands again. Miss Lynn, check his identity before you escalate. Ethan rolls his eyes. You're taking his side? Daniel says, I'm taking the side of the calm one. Rachel hits the headset. Disruptive passenger, possible fraud, immediate removal from first class. I sigh, tell Ava, mark that. Security escalation, 8:31 a.m. Ava logs it. Jason, a junior attendant, whispers to Rachel, maybe we should double check. She brushes him off. Ava says, for the record, I haven't raised my voice or made threats, but now I'm labeled disruptive based on appearance. Erica adds, his name's on the boarding pass. and the only person escalating is you. Rachel wheels on her. Are you recording me? Sure am. Erica says. This is racial profiling, and it's not even subtle. Ethan groans. Now everyone's filming. What a joke. I turn to him. Your jacket cost more than my flight, but you'll be the one escorted out of first. Suddenly Rachel's headset buzzes, a clipped voice. Lynn, stand down. Passenger ID flagged for executive override. Do not escalate. Jason, hands shaking, brings the new print others my name to be verified. Rachel, instead of apologizing, accuses me of hacking the manifest. I laugh. You think I hacked into your airline's backend to get a seat? Ava asks Erica, can we make sure that's on video? It's all on video, Erica says. Ethan tries to move me. Daniel blocks him. No one moves until this is resolved. Rachel's hands are trembling. You can't all seriously believe this guy owns anything. I pull out a secondary eyed federal clearance card. Principal stakeholder, Stratosphere Holdings. Rachel steps back. Ava says, you didn't just insult a passenger. You profiled a regulator. Rachel's headset buzzes. Your actions triggered a financial ethics alert. Your access will be revoked upon landing. Ethan, shaken, mutters, people like you never expected the man in the hoodie to write the funding terms. Jason, sweating, asks Ava, what do we do? Ava says, wait and learn. In 4 minutes, the compliance office, 3 banks, and the FAA will be in this airline's back pocket. Rachel says nothing. I sit in 2B, finally where I belong. And here's where it gets interesting. That silence in the cabin? It's not just about me. It's about every time someone got told they didn't belong, and today, finally, someone called it out. Erica, the journalist, asks me, that comm you've got is not your first time, is it? I shake my head. No, it isn't. Flashback to 2010. I'm standing at SFO with a first-class ticket, hoodie, and Jeansgate agent points me to economy. Never checks the pass. I have to insist she sighs, scans, sees I'm right, but her face says I'm wrong. That flight, I sat in silence. I've been collecting those moments for years. Rachel mutters, you could have said something. I say I did. Would you have listened? She looks away, and we both know she wouldn't have. This isn't about policy. It's about what gets normalized. Ava asks Jason, how many people have been flagged like this? He admits, we just talk after the flights. Passengers that look suspicious. Erica asks, and by suspicious? Silence. I stand not fast, just steady. Fear isn't protocol, it's a habit. The sound of email dings ripple through the galley. Ava says, FAA acknowledged receipt. Flight ethics flags now mandatory for funding. Airlines required to sign the Fairness Accord. Daniel laughs. 6 minutes ago, I was in the wrong seat. Now, the airline's in the hot seat. Rachel, pale, headset dangling, tries to say it was a misunderstanding. No, I say it's a pattern. And you did it to the wrong passenger with the right documentation. Ava explains, you told a black man in a hoodie he didn't belong in first class. No ID check, straight to accusation. Daniel breathes out, textbook case. Should be in the training manual. Erica whispers, it will be. Rachel says, this isn't about race. I say that louder. Say it while they all watch. But she can't. I turn to the cabin. This airline didn't fail because of glitch. It failed because it empowered a culture that decides worth by appearance. Jason confesses, we get unofficial tips red hoodie, no blazer, backpack, double check, everything. Soft protocol, not in the handbook, but it's there. Erica lifts her camera. That's going viral. Rachel insists, we don't discriminate. We notice patterns. Daniel, that's not observation, that's bias. Ava's phone pings. Treasury Committee is pulling ethics records. This is going federal. Ethan, nervous, asks, you taking down the whole airline? I say, no, just holding it accountable. Rachel's headset buzzes. Her privileges are suspended. She's escorted off by FAA agents. For the first time, the system didn't back her. The rules had changed. Now, the passengers' evidence counted, not just the crew's word. Ava and I get confirmation. Ethics charter drafted. For airlines frozen, headlines spinning from Dallas to D.C. In a quiet hearing room, I tell the Senate committee, bias is a choice, not an act of God. I don't want control, I want conditions. You want to fly? Prove you treat people like humans. By the end of the week, the passenger ethics charter is law. Airlines that refuse lose their slots and subsidies. Some CEOs rage, some resign. Others, like Camila Roth, embrace if their airline gains trust, not loses it. Later, in a quiet lounge, I tell Ava, the best systems outlive their architects. Stratosphere Holdings is handed to a citizen-led board, 9 everyday people, not executives. That's how real change lands. So if you've ever been told you don't belong, maybe at work, at a hospital, or on a plane, know this. One person with the right receipts can change the whole system. Now tell me, where do you stand? Is justice a disruption, or is it just overdue? Drop your story below, and let's see if together we can finally make the skies fair for everyone.